Our next example, example 2 is 5n subtract, in parentheses, 8 subtract 3n. Let's begin by working inside parentheses. Inside parentheses, there is no combining terms that can be done, but we can change subtract to add the opposite. Notice that we have a minus sign preceding parentheses. Remember that we have two possibilities. We can think of this as implying a coefficient of 1 here, making this become add -1. Or we can think of the minus sign as take the opposite. Most people, when they're beginning this type of work, find it least confusing to use the coefficient of -1. So that's the way I'm going to write it. So I'm beginning by writing this as 5n plus -1 times the expression 8 plus -3n. Now we have add and multiply. We multiply first. Multiply -1 times 8, we get -8. Multiply -1 times -3n, we get positive 3n. And so we have 5n plus -8 plus 3n. Now it's all adding. We find the like terms. The like terms are 5n and 3n because they have the same variable part. The constant term will be written last. And so we get 5n plus 3n to get 8n plus the constant term -8. And then for the best form, 8n subtract 8. Our next example, a bit longer. 10 times the expression x subtract 4, close the parentheses, subtract 2 times the expression x subtract 5. Inside the first parentheses, we have x subtract 4. They're not like terms. We cannot combine them. Inside the second parentheses, x subtract 5. They're not like terms. We cannot combine them. Therefore, we'll simply change the subtracts to add the opposite and write 10 times the expression x plus -4 plus -2 times the expression x plus -5. Now we're ready to distribute. Notice that with the operations indicated, multiply, add, and multiply. We multiply before we add. We're ready to distribute 10 through the parentheses beside it. We're ready to distribute -2 through the parentheses beside it. Now we write 10x plus -40 plus -2x plus 10. Everything now is to be added. Therefore, we simply look for the like terms. 10x, a like term is -2x. Add 10x and -2x. -40, add 10, both constant terms. And so we get 8x plus -30. Then for the best form, we write 8x subtract 30 as our final answer. For our next exercise, next example rather, another long one. They're getting more interesting, aren't they? Minus x subtract 4 bracket 2x subtract, parenthesis, 3 subtract 2x, parenthesis, bracket. When we have a symbol of inclusion and another symbol of inclusion within, we always begin with the innermost symbol of inclusion. 3 subtract 2x. However, 3 subtract 2x cannot be simplified since these are not like terms. And so the best we can do is rewrite the subtraction as add the opposite. Notice that we got several minus signs. The first minus sign does not mean subtract. There is no number preceding it. This simply means take the opposite of x. The next does mean subtract. The next also means subtract, and notice that this subtraction sign precedes a parenthesis. Therefore, our preferred method will be followed. We'll change this to an understood 1 coefficient before this set of parentheses. Then we can change subtract 1 times the parentheses to add -1 times the parentheses. Let me write that 1 in so we can see it as we're going to the next step. Within the parentheses we have subtract also, and that will be changed to add the opposite. So in our problem we have 3 subtractions. Here's 1, here's 1, and here's 1. Each of those subtractions will be changed to add the opposite. Notice that's exactly what happens in the next line. The minus x is left. Subtract 4 is changed to add -4. We copy the bracket, the 2x. Subtract 1 is changed to add -1. We copy the parenthesis, we copy the 3. Subtract 2x is changed to add -2x. We copy the closing parenthesis, we copy the closing bracket. Now we still have a lot of complication. Inside the symbol of inclusions, the brackets. Let's concentrate on just that much. Let me cover the rest of the problem up for a moment. Inside the brackets, we have add and multiply. Which do we do first? Of course, we multiply first. And so we must multiply the -1 times the expression in parentheses. -1 is multiplied times the 3 and times the -2x. And so within the brackets, we'll write 2x plus -3 plus 2x. 2x plus -3 plus 2x. The rest of the problem is simply copied as it is. Now we look inside the brackets and see if anything else can be done. It's now add and add. All we can do is combine like terms. 2x, here's another x term, another 2x, that is a like term. In fact, you can't get any more like than that, can you? Add 2x and 2x and you'll get 4x plus -3 inside the brackets. The rest of the problem is copied exactly as it was. And so we're down to minus x plus -4 times, in brackets, 4x plus -3. We finished simplifying what's in brackets, and so we go back and read through the problem to see what's present. We have add and multiply. Once again, the order of operations tells us to multiply. We'll multiply -4 times 4x and -4 times -3, and that gives us minus x plus -16x plus 12. Minus x plus -16x plus 12. The only thing left now is the adding. To add, we combine like terms. Here's minus x, here's minus 16x, and adding these, we remember that minus x means minus 1x. We have an understood coefficient of 1 there, and so we get negative 17x plus 12 as our final answer.